Today we're going to review the Better Together, a Pixar Pals Celebration Parade Dessert Party.
I'm Kim.
I'm Brad.
We're 626 Ohana, California. So today we're going to talk about was it worth it and kind of what that experience included. So they have done this dessert party in the past, but they added some special features for the 70th celebration.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the first thing, which you may be asking. How do you get the reservation and how much is?
So you're going to get those reservations on the Disneyland app or on the Disneyland website. Actually, it's just under everyday dining reservations.
So the cost is going to be $94 per guest, and that includes your tip and gratuity.
Children under age of 2 will be free of charge so they can sit with you and watch the parade.
So where is this located at?
This is at the Sonoma Terrace at Disney's California Adventure theme park. So that's kind of over by the Wine Country Trattoria, kind of in front of that. Kind of, if you're facing it, it's still kind of to the left and down in front. So you can check in up to 2 hours early on the Disneyland app, but yesterday, of course, they had some first day bugs, kinks to work out. So we had to check in person.
Yeah, so if you do check in in person, you can always ask somebody when they're doing the setup, if they have it or if there's a problem with it, and then I'll notify they actually ended up setting up a stand for you to check in at that 2 hour mark.
So after you check in, we still had time. They didn't call us back until about 45 minutes before the start of the parade.
Yeah, so that gives you that time to be able to sit down, relax, get your table. And let's go ahead and talk about the table. So you got 2 different types of tables that you can choose from.
So there's a standard, just regular dining table, or there's a high top table with kind of director's chairs.
Yeah, these are great because some of them are under umbrellas so you can get shade. And you can also ask them, can I get one that's under the shade? Or if you want the lower standard one, you can ask them then too. And they also try to assign you to seating. Talking about the assigned seating, well, this is where it can get interesting if you're a party of 3 or 2. Or even by yourself.
So you actually have shared seating. So we were at a high top table and Brad was sitting in front and I was behind him. And then, if you will, like where I'm sitting with the table in between us was another person. And then they were both singles. So there's one single in front, one single in back. So there's actually 3 different dining parties within our 4 top table.
Yeah, and then the shorter tables it's kind of like a way to describe it. It would be 3 around them, so you won't have as many around the lower ones, but you could have 2 tables that are pushed together, which would put 6 around the 2 tables completely. So yeah, it's a little
cozy.
Yeah,
it's very cozy. I'll say in our situation was a bit awkward. One of the guys sat down and didn't say a whole word the whole time, not even hi. We're just kind of like, okay, this is awkward.
So it could be awkward, or maybe you'll get somebody that's really friendly and you all have a great chat.
Which was what we were kind of hoping for, but yeah, our table mates weren't very chatty.
So what will happen is when you go and get called back and go to your seating, they will escort you to your seat where you're assigned at. And let's go ahead and talk about that box they give you.
Okay, so they brought out this beautiful box, had nice little celebration kind of band paper, if you will.
Yeah, like a cardboard sleeve.
They had a nice, like a cardboard sleeve that was nice. So they had us open it up in front of them to make sure our box had our exclusive pin.
Yeah, so this is...
We'll get to it.
So yeah, that box they bring out, it's kind of like I would say a bento box type of thing. And when you look into it, obviously you're going to have a whole bunch of different foods, and it was kind of interesting.
It's basically like a nice little picnic in a box, if you will. That's how I'd like to describe it.
A charcuterie board with a dessert board with extras.
Okay, so first off, it had the artesian cheese charcuterie with crackers, assorted freeze-dried fruit.
While we're talking about that one little section that had the fruits and the meats and cheeses, they are going to be assorted, so they could be different from everybody from every time. Ours included a chorizo, a pepperoni, and a prosciutto. And cheeses, they never, and this is what kind of the bad thing is, they did not give us an explanation. I think one was a white cheddar. I don't know what the other 2 were, but they weren't goat cheeses, so I was happy there.
They did have like a brie with a seasonal jam. I couldn't quite make out what the jam was.
Yeah, it was a really sweet jam. It was actually really good.
It was.
And It was it was a little bit of a warmer day, so it was getting soft pretty quick.
And then, of course, there was the dessert side, because it is a dessert party, and there was a lot of it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start out with the first thing you may notice right off the bat, which is the grape soda macaroon.
That was delicious. That reminded me of having real grape soda when I was a kid. So I really think they did an amazing job.
That was really good, and yeah.
It was beautifully decorated. It was amazing.
And then they also had a chocolate drizzled Rice Krispie treat.
So that was in the shape of a star, but the colors were like Pixar themed, so it was really cute.
Yeah, it was a Rice Krispie treat with
Yeah.
chocolate on it. It was good. And then they also had a Better Together theme cake.
And so that had like a macaroons on top, and it was a light cake, thankfully. It was a white cake with, I want to say raspberry.
Yeah, I think it was a raspberry. It was
Okay.
cake. I mean, it wasn't a over the top cake.
And then they had a cute little monster themed cookie, and it was dipped in white chocolate, and it was delicious.
Yeah, the thing to know about some of these, that cookie, especially when you're eating it, your fingers got a little sticky on it.
Yeah, on a hot day, make sure you have lots of napkins.
And we're talking, our day was about 73 degrees out, so if it gets hotter, you may want to be aware of that.
And we were underneath an umbrella, so.
Okay, so, yeah, we really liked the desserts. That grape soda macaroon, though,
That was your winner?
That was my winner of the whole day.
Actually, yeah, it really was that good.
Okay, and also to let you know, there is a selection of drinks that do come with this party.
So you can get wine, beer. They had a themed cocktail, so they had a lime daiquiri. I got that, and it was good.
They also had a themed mocktail.
Which was a cherry lime drink, and neither one of us got it, but it had like the popping boba balls in it.
Mm-hmm. And then I got the raspberry iced coffee, which was really sweet.
It was. I had a taste of it, and it had what looked like fruity pebbles sprinkled on top. It was really cute.
Yeah, it was cute. It was good, but I ended up switching over getting a soda afterwards, and that actually tasted not as sweet. So
Exactly. Afterwards, I got a Diet Coke, because this does come with sodas and water or coffee, tea. And so they keep coming by all during the dessert party, seeing if they can get you anything. The cast members were phenomenal.
yeah, they were amazing. They were coming by. It seemed like right before. Are you guys okay? Do you need anything? Sure. One cast member came over. Here, I got waters. Why don't you guys take waters? So it was great.
And they made sure they were going around asking if they could take pictures with your phones or cameras. Mm-hmm. And so that was a really nice touch. They really did go out of their way. So also with our little bento charcuterie / dessert box came a pin, which is new for a dessert party. And we heard for 70th celebration, they're going to be doing it for all the dessert parties. Like World of Color dessert party during the 70th celebration, or Oogie Boogie's Bash dessert party. So with these dessert parties, they're now going to have fig pins, which was kind of fun. So we were inside our little bento box was given a pen.
Yeah. So we each got one of these in there.
Okay, so we got our pins and we were able to open them up. There is a possibility of 3 pins in back.
So the type of pins that you can get in this box are in 3 categories. So one is going to be a common pin, a rare pin, which is a glitter one on this series, and the ultra rare, which is a gold series. And so that was kind of fun. They actually were really excited to see what we got, because it was the first time they were seeing these.
Okay, so let's show you what we got. 1, 2, 3.
So, trying to get it. Yeah, I got the common one, but Kim?
Ultra rare. I'm the first person at a 70. So I was the first person at a Disneyland 70th anniversary celebration dessert party to get an ultra rare pin.
So yeah, these pins are kind of cool because they actually have an app that you can download, and are supposed to be interactive with them. Unfortunately, at this time, they are not working for us.
So that was kind of our experience. They seem to have a lot of technical difficulties at this point with the dessert party. Yeah. But I'm sure they'll iron all that out.
Yeah, it's like you said, these are brand new. We were the first dessert party. Kim was the first. She opened her box the first and got the gold pin right off the bat. We're not sure how ultra rare the gold ones, because we heard some people excited they got a couple of them afterwards.
So I believe there was 3 ultra rare pins in the dessert party. So if it's probably, that means there's about 6 of them a day if they keep up at that rate times 18 months. So I don't know how rare they really are.
And they even said they don't even know that they're completely randomized, put it in. And so we were explained by one of the cast members who was overseeing everything of how they were excited to see these because they haven't seen them and they have no clue.
And maybe they just had a few more for the first party. We don't know.
Yep.
But anyways, it was exciting to get it. It was fun. And of course, having a pin in a dessert party is kind of a cool new addition.
Yeah, it kind of gives you that memory of everything. But if you're into pin collecting like Kim is, you got a new pin for your collection.
Absolutely. Actually, I have two because you don't collect.
Yeah.
So then, of course, the main event was being there for the Better Together, a Pixar Pal Celebration Parade.
Yeah, what's really great about these seats are when you're watching the parade is they don't allow anybody to stand in front of you. So you get a good, clean shot of the parade. Now, here's where our warning comes in with the parade. Is if you're on those high tops like we talked, you could be blocked by the umbrellas. Luckily, we weren't sold out, so they allowed me to move down to one of the lower tables, which did have a lot better view. That was closer to the street.
And of course, when you're kind of on those high top tables, if you're kind of like together with a little table like between you and somebody literally right in back where your chair almost ends, you know, maybe if you had a taller person in front of you, it might block your view.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that could be, or you're kind of going like this around, looking around. So that's something to be very aware of. But the parade was a lot of fun. It was a cute parade. It was a shorter parade.
It was, but you know what? It was just a good time. And having a nice place to sit during the parade is a huge bonus. So there's people on the parade who were sitting on the ground, like on the other side, that had got there just as long as we've been waiting with the dessert party, but they didn't have any shade, they didn't have nice chairs, and they definitely didn't have anything to eat or drink like we did.
Yeah, so...
And no pin.
Yeah. So that is a nice thing to be able to do. So yeah, the parade was fun. Watch, cute. So if you're finding this video helpful...
Please like...
subscribe.
And follow along with our Ohana.
Okay, let's get into our thoughts overall if this dessert party is actually worth it.
So I want to think of like a breakdown of what things would cost. So like, I feel like this was a meal-sized portion because there's so much food. They actually had to-go boxes, but we hadn't eaten anything since breakfast and it was almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So this was our lunch, if that puts it in perspective.
Yeah, I was still a little hungry afterwards, but again, like we said, I didn't eat breakfast that day, and we went so long, so that could have been a factor of it. But really, it's not a bad-sized charcuterie board type of dessert and everything else. It was nice.
And of course, you can get a possibly alcoholic drink or sodas. You've got all that food, and you've got a great view of the parade, and you get the fig pin.
Yeah, so...
And the fig pins online for Disney, for one that comes like in a box set, is $10, and a single fig pin is $20, like the bigger ones they have with Disney. So somewhere between $5 to $10 a pin to put in. So if you really put that all together, including tax and tip,
yeah,
I actually think it's a great deal.
It's pretty close. I mean, it is expensive.
It is.
But it was a nice time to sit down and just relax and be able to do that. So overall, I would put it as... it was a great special thing to do for a day.
Exactly. If you want to kind of do something as a celebration, that you don't want to do the big dessert parties or, you know, midday breaks, things like that, have a nice meal. I think it's a great way. I'm not sure this is something I would like. This wouldn't be something you do regularly. This would be a special occasion kind of thing.
The last one we did was 2 years ago, I think, at World of Color. And we'll link that down below. The show has changed for the 70th, but it's probably still kind of the same format that you'd have for that.
But the food, yeah, and of course nowadays you'll get the fig pen.
So with that, I think it's time for us to say goodbye and
Find your magic. Bye everyone.
'Cause I